When you got promoted, did anyone sit you down and say, here is how you build a team that actually trusts you? Did anyone teach you what it feels like to your people when you walk into the room? How your silence actually lands? How your tone shapes everything that happens after? Probably not. Most of us got handed a title, maybe a new office, and then were expected to lead like we had been doing it for years. And so we managed from what we knew. We gave direction, we corrected mistakes, and we held people to the standards, but we never learned how to build the one thing that makes all of that work: trust. Today, I want to go deep with you on that because trust is not soft. It is not a nice to have. Trust is structure underneath every high-performing team. Here's the part that most leadership content skips. Building trust requires something from you first. It requires vulnerability. It requires self-awareness. It requires you to show up as a human being, not just a title. So if you are a retail manager, a mid-level director, or anyone responsible for developing the people below you, this video is for you. So let's get into it. My first point, you are responsible for their growth. Here is something I want you to sit with. When someone on your team struggles, when they miss the mark, when they underperform, what is your first instinct? Most leaders go straight to accountability. And accountability matters. I built an entire framework around it, so I know. But before accountability, there is a question that does not get asked enough. Did this person ever actually receive what they needed to succeed? Because here's the truth. A lot of the people below you were promoted the same way you were, based on performance, based on potential, not based on development. They were good at their job as an individual contributor, so they got moved up. And now they are sitting in a seat they were never truly prepared for, doing the best they can with the tools they were never even given. Sounds familiar? Your responsibility as a leader is not just to hold people accountable. It is to develop them, to close the gap between where they are and where they need to be. And development starts with one thing: creating an environment where growth is actually possible. A growth environment is not a place where everything feels comfortable. It is a place where people feel safe enough to be honest about where they are struggling. It is a place where mistakes are treated as data, not evidence of failure. It is a place where your people know you are invested in them, not just in their output. Now, here's the thing about creating that environment. You cannot fake it. You cannot put a motivational poster on the wall and call it culture. You cannot say, my door is always open, and then shut down the people every time they bring you a real problem. You have to build it intentionally, consistently, and the foundation of all that is trust. Your people need to trust that you see them, that you are honest with them, and that you are safe to be real with, that you will not use their vulnerability against them, and they will not trust you until you give them a reason to. That is where most leaders get stuck. They expect the trust to come from the title, but the titles do not build trust. Behavior builds trust. Now to my second point. How you actually build it, I'm going to give you specific actionable pointers on how to build trust with your team. These are not theoretical. These came out of years of managing people in retail environments where stakes are real and the margins are thin. Each of one of these requires something from you. Not your policy, not your procedure, you. Number one, be consistent, not perfect. Your team does not need you to be flawless. They need you to be predictable. Consistency is how you show up, how you communicate, and how you handle pressure tells your team what to expect from you. And when people know what to expect from you, they can relax enough to bring you their best work instead of spending energy reading the room. Ask yourself, do I show up the same way on a hard Monday as I do on a great Friday? Because your team is watching and they are drawing conclusions every single time that you don't. Number two, say what you mean and mean what you say. Vague leadership erodes trust faster than almost anything else. When you give feedback that dances around the real issue, your team feels it. When you make promises you do not keep, your team remembers. When you avoid the hard conversation, your team fills the silence with their own interpretation, and it almost always worse than the truth. So be direct, be honest, not harsh, but honest. The leaders your people will talk about years from now, and the ones who told them the truth when it was uncomfortable. Number 3, follow through on the small things. Trust is built in the mundane moments. Did you say that you would follow up and then did not? Did you show up to a one-on-one prepared instead of winging it? Did you remember what your team member shared with you last week and check in about it? Small follow-through communicates that your people are not an afterthought. It says, I see you, you matter, and this is a message that compounds over time. Number 4, give credit where it's due publicly. Nothing builds trust faster on the team than watching their own leader advocate for them. When one of your people does something well, say it out loud in front of others. Not vague encouragement, specific recognition. Tell them and tell the room why it mattered. And when things go wrong, take the heat. Do not use your team as a shield. A leader who absorbs pressure for their team and amplifies their wins creates loyalty that no bonus structure can buy. Number 5, create psychological safety. This is where most leaders lose the room. Psychological safety means your team can bring you a problem, disagree with you, or admit they do not know something without the fear of being shut down, embarrassed, or even punished for it. It does not mean no accountability. It means people can be human in your presence. And you create it by responding well when someone takes a risk with you. How you respond the first time someone brings you bad news tells your whole team everything about whether they can trust you. Number 6, invest in them outside of their job function. Ask your people where they want to go, not just what they need to do today. What do they want to learn? What frustrates them about work? Where do they feel stuck? And then actually do something with that information. Connect them to a resource, adjust a responsibility, have a real conversation about their growth. When your team sees that you are thinking about their future and not just their metrics, they show up differently for you. Number 7, repair when you get it wrong. This one is about what you do when you drop the ball, and you will. You're human. The leaders who build up deep trust are not the ones who never mess up. They are the ones who own it when they do. Go back to the person. Say what you did wrong. Say what you are going to do differently. No deflection, no excuses. Accountability is not just a standard you hold your team to. It is a standard you hold yourself to first. When your people watch you take responsibility, they learn what real accountability looks like, and they trust you because of it. Now, here's the thing nobody tells you about leadership. I want to talk about something that gets avoided in most leadership conversations. Vulnerability. Not the kind where you overshare your personal life in the team meetings. Not performance vulnerability designed to seem relatable. Real vulnerability. The kind where you admit you do not have all the answers. Where you say to someone on your team, I got that wrong and I am sorry. Where you acknowledge when you are learning something in real time. Authority feels like it has to look a certain way. But here is what I know from years of managing teams. Your people already know when you do not have it figured out. They can feel it. The question is not whether they see your uncertainty. The question is whether you are honest about it. When you pretend certainty you do not have, you create distance. Your team starts managing up instead of being real with you. They tell you what they think you want to hear. And that gap between what is real and what you're being told, that gap will cost you. But when you lead with honesty, when you say, I'm working through this too, or I made a call that I would make differently now, you give your team permission to be human. And humans who feel seen do not protect themselves. They work with you. Self-awareness is not a personality trait. It is a skill. And like any skill, it has to be developed. Here is what I mean by self-awareness as a leader. It is knowing how your energy lands in the room. It is understanding that when you are visibly stressed, your team absorbs that stress and it affects their performance. It is recognizing when you have a bias towards certain people on your team and doing the work to correct for it. It is being honest with yourself about conversations you have been avoiding and asking why.